What's going on, everybody? So I just wanted to come through and share this quick testimony with you guys. God is awesome and amazing. And if you don't know who I am XaveDMorgan, holistic life and business coach. I help children and adults break generational chains so we can get to building generational wealth, okay? I'm also a business owner. I have several small businesses that I'm growing underneath the one roof, my husband and I. And that's who I am. I'm from Richmond, Virginia, and born and raised, and has been doing everything that I just mentioned to you and everything else that you can see in the middle of that since I was able to walk, talk, and do all those things. But today, so I have a big event coming up. It's the RVAAwards show. It is the event where I feature music, media, and community leaderships. It's a recognition ceremony. It's in its 5th year. This is the 5th year celebration. I have a team of amazing individuals that I pull together each one of those years. We do a production, and they help me put that thing together. So we are in the prime months for the RVAAwards, which is the inductorial period. It is where the community, votes the professional they feel most deserving in the categories of music, media, and community leadership. And the point in all this right now is that I'm just this little old black girl from Churchill. Okay, I've put in so much work. I've been working since the tender age of 14, and all I've been doing is working in my purpose. And I believe wholeheartedly in God. I have the faith of a mustard seed, but baby, sometimes it be hard, and sometimes it gets scary, and sometimes it be rough because these people with these degrees and all this popularity, they don't always play fair. And when you talk about underdogs like me who really operating out here in authenticity and, with a purpose and non-traditionally, and, sometimes we get frowned upon like what we got going on is not serious, or, it's love, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever. And so I was talking to God because this year is year 5 for the RVAAwards show, and it's time to go big. I want to really celebrate the go-getters that have really been doing their thing out here the past 2 years. It's been rough for us, especially here in Richmond, Virginia. I ain't saying it's been rough nowhere else. I ain't talking about nowhere else. I'm talking about Richmond, Virginia, my people. You feel me? And so my money only stretches so far because my businesses are expanding, and it's just me. I'm a small business. I've never had a loan. I've never had a grant, and so I do everything out the pocket. And this is my winning season now, right? I'm here. I made it, but God darn it, it's still kind of rough, okay? And so I was talking to God, and I'm like, I don't know how to get on these news stations just for me. I've been on the news. I've been on TV representing everybody else's event, everybody else's project, supporting them. But I've never stepped out, and I never did it for me. And so I was nervous about it, and I didn't know which way to go. And you deal with the imposter syndrome. What if they think that what I have to say isn't special enough, or it doesn't deserve any recognition, and I ain't want to get my feelings hurt. So I knew it was something that I had to do, and it would be something new for me to do in this season as I continue to walk in my breakthrough, right? But I was nervous about it. And so this morning I had a workshop that I could have facilitated. But God spoke to me and was like, no, you need to, adjust your days with that, right? Only do it on the 2nd and 4th weeks of the month. And I'm like, God, that's not exactly what we planned. And so I feel bad because I'm like, I don't want to leave the people all back. I promise the point is coming. And so the Spirit reminded me, aren't you strengthening your intuition? Aren't you strengthening your discernment, your guidance? And so I'm like, okay, cool. And I'm like, well, I don't know why I feel like I shouldn't go today. Because I had all the time in the world to go. I was at Wawa's, filling up, eating my hash browns and sipping my shot tea and just thinking about what I was going to minister to these people today. And God told me not to go. And so I became conflicted because going isn't a bad idea, and not going isn't a bad idea either, because I know God gonna have me doing something. I just didn't know what, but I went anyway. So I came to my sacred place, and it was 2 ladies out there. I couldn't really make out the ladies, but I felt drawn and connected to them. So I didn't want to be weird, right? So I was trying to act like I wasn't looking or listening, and I had my phones, and I was like, I hope they don't think I'm recording them, because at this point I'm like, you need to go ahead and set all this stuff up today. I could wait a few months for the promotion to start, in that respect. But something was just prompting me. God was just prompting me to do it then. And so I still paid no mind. I saw a lady with a camera. I paid no mind to it. And then another car pulled up, and it was a guy. And I saw that his shirt said News 6. And so I'm like, okay, well, and he wasn't really paying any attention to the ladies. So I couldn't really gather what the world still was going on. I still had no idea what was going on. So I'm sitting in the car, and I'm like, no, I don't want them to think I'm weird. Like, girl, you need to just call the news stations, because if you don't, then the blessing is gonna expire. Like, you being prompted, stop being a pump. So I called all of them, 6, 12, 8, and and I got the necessary information, got the necessary people names that I was speaking to and everything like that. And then I was like, okay, cool. Well, now I'm sure in what I need to do. And I'm sure that these things are going to happen, because I just knew these things are going to happen because of God. And they're planned out, and it's in the books, and I scheduled it and everything like that. But to be honest, I had not spoken to those people. You understand what I'm saying? I just knew these things were possible. Come on, Faith. And so after that, I'm sitting there, and I look up again, and it seems like they're done. So I go to the lady with the camera. I'm like, hey, do you have a card? Right. I'm like, do you got a card? And she's like, no, I don't have no card. And so I'm like, well, she don't got no card. So I grabbed my notebook, and I start walking over. I'm showing her I'm putting the hand sanitizer on my hand. You know what I'm saying? I don't know about you, but I like to let people know, like, I got you. I know it's stuff going on out here. I got the hand sanitizer. Don't even worry about me. I got you, And so I'm doing that thing. And so I walk over to her, and with my notebook and everything. And she has a card, though. Right? And so she asked me, she said, well, what do you do? And so I tell her who I am and what I'm doing at this moment, right? And what's going on, and what I would possibly need her service for, which is the RVAAwards show. And she was like, you know what? Like, we're actually out here looking for a story. I got Shelby Brown out here with News 6. And I'm like, wait a minute. She like, we were actually getting ready to go because we were looking for a story. Like, and it wasn't a story out here. Whole time the story was sitting in the car. I was sitting in the car, nervous to get out, nervous to bother those people. They're going to look at me weird if I do. All these things that were coming across my mind. And God was showing me mercy and favor and grace and grace and grace and grace and grace, because I was told to get out that car way, way sooner than I did. Okay? But the moment still was for me. But it was expiring because some people was getting ready to go. Okay? And I would have never knew what that was here for. I would have never knew who that was or anything like that. So it turned into an impromptu that made me a part of the commercial for Shelby Brown. Okay, her getting out the car and solving problems here in Richmond, Virginia. She's done it so well over the past years, okay? And so they made me a part of that. And then she actually interviewed me, like asked me questions about the RV. Lord, have mercy on my hair, Lord God, fix it. I'm sorry, y'all. I keep on messing with it in the camera. But, asking me questions about the RVAAwards show. And then not only that, like, she got into her life and what she doing personally and how we connected on a different level of my business, in a different business, something totally different. It was just the divine connection. But I'm telling y'all, I would have never been here. I would have never been here had I went to that workshop. Had I been too full of me. Like, God, no, that ain't right. Like, I'm going to just go ahead. I would have missed the opportunity. I didn't have to ask for it. I ain't have to call on people. They was already here. I ain't have to ask for it. They wanted me. They was looking for a story. So the point of this video today, right, is to walk in faith. You got to walk in it. You got to walk in it. You have to build. You have to get to know what that voice of God sounds like inside of you. You have to get to know what that feels like. You have to understand how it feels to ignore what you want to do and tap into, is this purpose for me to do? God is amazing. And baby, all you got to do is walk. You may not understand in the beginning, but I swear it'll make sense. It'll make sense in due time. All right, collective. I just wanted to share that testimony with y'all. Okay, well, I was fresh. Peace. I love you.